Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Gray Man Prepping. It is time for Tactical Tuesday, and tonight's thing is mainly going to be tactics because tonight's topic is when is bugging out worth the risk? And how's everybody doing out there? So okay, got more. I see the thing just flowing here, so let me go over and look at the comments here. So first in was Moon over Miami, followed by Mad Chick Acres, then Diana, then CR, then Crew 1351, then Geeky Gardens, and everybody talking back and forth. Kalen String came in, and Shady Hill Homestead. All right, I just got the notification here on this computer here that I'm going live. And looking around here, oh man, I mean, I'm looking over here. Yeah, it's way back. Let me bring that up live. There we go. It was about 2 minutes behind over here on this screen over here. The lag time in starting to broadcast was like 2 minutes, but I thought it had caught up and it hadn't. So not sure how everything else here is going on for you out there. Maybe several minutes before you're up to live speed. And little lone preppers in the house too. Alrighty, so bugging out. When is it worth the risk? Well, hang on a second here. So when is it worth the risk? Well, it depends on a bunch of things. All right, let's see if this works right. When has several things in it, but the main things of when I threw it in was summer or winter. Oh, I did include night and day. Now I didn't put spring and fall in it because those are temperate in between temperatures, which usually, let me go ahead and switch this to this mode. There we go. Which are in between and sort of a little bit easier to deal with. Summer, if you're bugging out in the high heat of summer, July, August, when it's absolutely blistering hot, it's going to be a little bit, it has another set of circumstances you got to worry about rather than if it's in the wintertime when it's friggin' cold. Or depending on where at, you may not be freezing temperatures, but you got a lot of rain coming down. If you have to bug out in the daytime, you can see what's going on a little bit better. But then everybody else can see you as well. If it's at nighttime, you're not so easily seen, but you can't see everything else as well too. So this is something else you got to take into account if you're going to bug out. So that's one froze. That's one thing to consider, and whether it's bugging out is worth the risk. Where are you going to? Is it near or far? Is it in the same state you're at, or is it in a different state? And depending on the event, it could be you could be bugging out near, but then you look at the event that's unfolding could be, crap, that's not far enough. I might as well just stay here under those circumstances. So, that's the thing you also got to consider out is, where is the worst part of the event that's going on? Is it right where you at, or is it between you and where you want to go to? I was planning on going over to Uncle Jack's, but dang, halfway between us, everything's just going to crap out there. So that's one of the things you need to consider here on it. Okay, all right, that one is keeping up. I wasn't sure whether or not because I got over here on this screen computer over here. I have my gray man prepping, so that's where I'm making comments from that one there. Here I got StreamYard. So, all right. How are you going to plan? How are you planning on bugging out? Are you planning on driving or walking, taking bicycles, going horseback if you happen to have horses? How you're going to bug out also needs to be taken into consideration, and all the things with it. Oh, you're going to drive. Do you have enough gas to get to where you're going to and back? Because bugging out, you may not be able to go the speed you want to get going. You may be stuck in traffic. And Kaylin points out another thing too. And I got some pictures to go get into this. Who are you traveling with? All right. Now, besides these things here, there is the big question. What is the event? I just what was it? So let me look at the calendar here again. Okay, so Thursday night after the midnight ride, I was perusing Amazon because I went something I spotted there. I went and bought something on Amazon. Then I was perusing through it, and I got some recommendations for some novels. And then I got one, and a novel popped up. It was recommended, and I looked at it. Okay, I looked at the free sample, which is the first couple chapters. I go, okay, all right, this sounds interesting. So I went and bought it for $3.99. I got about a quarter of the way into it, and the writing on it took a friggin' nosedive. About he had real short chapters. So about chapter 20, I'm only a quarter of the way into it, and it takes a friggin' nosedive. And his continuity was non-existent. And basically what he was talking about was there was a high altitude detonations causing an EMP, wiping everything out. So anything that's most motors, unless they are old school stuff, were not running. And it supposedly happened at the same time to the mother and father were going on vacation. They dropped the two kids off with the grandmother. The grandmother had taken them down to Knoxville to the zoo. The parents went east of the grandmother's cabin to a resort, and they were there when everything happened. And they'd been at the zoo for several hours. And when she got a warning from somebody that she had like minutes to get to safe ground, so he grabbed the kids. They're starting to leave when everything goes and all right, so it's before noon, or it's around noontime. For the parents, it's early in the morning. But all right, I'm getting off the track here, but it was early when they gotten up. They're going to go down to the spa, and everything goes out. Then a couple chapters later, the time, all of a sudden, it's late afternoon, only about an hour later, for the parents, and still mid-morning for the grandmother. Then a couple chapters later, an hour or so later, it's getting dark for the grandparents and still light for the parent. It's like he could not write, and a bunch of his other stuff he was getting all mixed up on. But the premise was what intrigued me. So they're both away from, both groups are away from home. One is a couple hours away about an hour and a half away in Knoxville. The other one's, 2 or 3 hours away over in North Carolina across the state line at a resort, and them trying to get back. Well, EMP, well, the grandma's car pickup was a 1970s F-150, and it was EMP proofed. So they're trying to drive back. The parents go out, the phones go dead, everything dead. They go out the cart, nothing. Got to use the key to open up the SUV and get whatever they can out of that. So they're on foot trying to walk back. Oh, and it's in January too, late January. So they're trying to, they're going to walk back, and the other ones are trying to drive out. And some of the stuff that happens is, yeah. Anyways, so, but with that on the driving portion, and this is where it's going to come into. One of the things he got wrong is that, all vehicles, new vehicles stop. No, they don't. If it's a diesel truck and it has the mechanical fuel injectors, it ain't stopping. It ain't even going to notice the power went out. But everything was losing power, and because everything lost power, they also lost brakes. No, that doesn't happen. But driving wheels. So one of the things that happened for driving was trucks coasted and plowed into cars and stuff because everybody stopped running. Well, no, trucks have air brakes. They stop. But none of the trucks over the several chapters ever stopped. They crashed, jackknifed, lost control of their steering wheel. No. So, but there will be idiots who will probably lose control because they're idiots. But yeah, so the thing is, and just because the car stops doesn't mean that the brakes don't work. It just means the engine stops. It means you got to mash down and pump the brakes to get them to work. Even on the newest cars, you got to pump the brakes to get it to work. All right. So, the ones are walking in January in the resort. They get all their clothes. They go downstairs, getting ready to leave, and they notice there's just a sign hung up on the door to the gift shop. They go try. Oh, the door's open. They go in there and they grab some backpacks, and they just start cramming food and stuff in there. They get stuff they're supposed to get, and then they grab a couple extra jackets, stuff, and they leave. Some may be, but not all of them. Most of the ones on the road, still, if they lose stuff, if they got the electronic fuel injection, yeah, but their air brakes don't stop working. Even if they are computerized, the steering doesn't stop working. The brakes don't stop working. They can still come to a stop. They can guide it over the side of the road if they got clearance and pull off the road. Diesel trucks aren't just instant dead. Yeah, I wound up having to go. I only got about a quarter way through it. I went back, tried to return. I wound up having to talk to a person saying, "Hey, this is the lousiest written book. Everything's totally wrong on it." And they allowed me to return it because I only read just a portion of it, and I discovered how bad it was. I did give a detailed review on why. All right, so that was the event for that one. Was an EMP, an attack EMP. Could be a CME from the sun caused EMP. It could be earthquakes. It could be different things. One of the books I liked is called Beacon Story. I've read it about 4 times because I got it on my Kindle. And it was a unique cascade collapse of the monetary systems around the world. I mean, it was a domino effect within, 12 hours. It started hitting here, and they go, oh crap, this is going on here. And in 12 hours into the day here, it collapsed here. And yeah, so that one was well written, and that was an economic collapse that caused everything to go really quick. And half the people stayed in town, half the people bugged out, so there's a bunch of things going on in that. But so there's another one that could happen, is be, a total collapse. There are different things. Some of them will slow roll. Others will be like a freight train. And so you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, and that's what some of them did, mashed on the brakes, without just thinking, oh, this is the steering stiff, brake. And it was just, a lot of, and some of them did that in his book. Others of them just, what do I do? Never even touched the brake and plowed in the back of somebody else. So you can have two of them, two groups. You can have those that are, actually you can have three groups. Major group, shock, and not knowing that they got to mash hard on the brakes instead of just lightly touch on the power brakes. There's going to be the ones that know, mash on the brakes, and they're going to stop and get plowed into. There's the ones that are going to look around and go, I'm going to coast off the road, get off onto the medium strip before I hit the, or on the shoulder before I hit the brakes. There could be, it could be, a major volcanic activity starts gearing up all over the place. It could be any number of things that could cause leading up to the point where you're going to have to make a decision. Do I stay here and shelter in place, or do I bug out? Is it worth the risk? I don't know if many of you are going to be able to read that sign. It says 46 crashes, 21 injuries, 1,755 responses. Oh, wow. Everybody's bugging out. In the left lane's in the opposite direction. Nobody's traveling over there, coming back into town. Everybody's trying to get out of town. People are running out of gas and having to pull over and they get off the road sometimes. Others of them get on the shoulder and back up. Vehicle getting out of town. If you've ever been in anywhere where everyone panics and you go to leave, you're going to find it's a problem. And if it's a slow roll enough, you may be able to get out before everybody else does. If you decide to bug out and you check the news and everybody's got their head in the sand, you go, okay, I'm getting out of here. That may be time when it is worth bugging out. Then it could be like this. If you guys notice on the right-hand side, they got the on-ramps blocked off because they're using both lanes, both directions of the freeway to get everybody out. So yeah, they're blocking off so nobody tries to get on the freeway to go back into town, and everybody's on all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lanes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're using the shoulders 7th. That's what they're using over here. The shoulder lane is another lane. So yeah, so you got 6+ lanes. Oh, and look down here. I don't know if you can see it down on the right. Oh, an ambulance is there, which is causing people having to go around. And you got cars piling up back here, and got ones, the truck back here on the left, back here by the railroad trestle, is getting on, blocking cars who might try to go straight. Yeah, it's going to be, yeah. Prepper for the Ages is here. Hey, Jill. Should I go? Should I stay or should I go? Yep, exactly. An hour after crossing the river bridge to get away from my apartment, that bridge was underwater. Yeah, flooding, happens very, oh, we're fine. The debris creates a dam, and all of a sudden now the water's backing up into the city and into areas and stuff. Yeah. All right, next one here. All right, so driving doesn't work. Oh, we got to walk out because we heard all the roads are blocked and we've seen the new stuff, so we can't drive out. So everybody, you got everybody putting on their backpacks, the little kids with their backpacks. Hang on, let me make this bigger for you guys. The little kids with their backpacks and stuff there, trying to carry their stuff to get out of town. And oh yeah, grandma here in the back is wearing her high heel shoes. Yeah. Oh, you're trying to get away, and suddenly the fire takes a turn, and your whole family's got to climb into the creek in the water to try to stay cool and survive the wildfire. Yeah, people grabbing suitcases to get out, and then once you get out, and if you're walking, you ain't gonna walk as far as you thought you were going to drive. Are you going to get stuck at a Red Cross shelter because they're saying, all right, we're stopping interstate travel. You try to control the masses. So you want to be set up in an area like this. Remember, little kids, don't expect them to carry very much. Yep, that's one. But little kids, hang on another. Yeah, exactly. But looking at everybody else, I think they went home and gathered stuff. But yeah, you could be right. Could be at work and didn't have an extra set of shoes. Oh. So for those that are listening, and you go to work, you should have a get home bag with either hiking shoes or tennis shoes in it. All right, so yeah, kids can only carry so much. The younger they are, the less they can carry, and the quicker they're going to want to. I'm tired of carrying my backpack. Yeah. Are you going to be wind up being out there by yourself, walking along as you see the world burning down around you? Are you going to go cross country? Is that the way you have to go because the streets are unsafe? Are there gangs and bad people with nefarious plans out there trying to take advantage of those trying to get out of Dodge? Yeah, exactly. And how long are you going to keep walking? How long are you going to be doing it? Are you going to be turned into a nomad going from place to place trying to survive? So, I forgot to drop this in there. There's the link for those that want to come up here. CR, Mark, Jill, anybody. So one of the things, here's Mark. So one of the things you got to consider is the event causing a danger in your area serious enough to dictate that you need to bug out? If not, you have to make a choice is, should I bug out anyways, because it could turn south really quick and then I'm stuck here. Yeah. Dogs, cats, hamsters, parakeets, goldfish. And when it comes to pets, some of them you need to make up your mind beforehand. Like goldfish, iguanas. Are you really going to pack them instead of food for yourself? That is an interesting idea. I hadn't thought of that. Find houses that have crawl spaces underneath them and, crawl in there and close it up behind you. Yeah. If you have a relative where you can go to, yeah, that works it. And Truth, Goodness, Beauty just came in. Welcome. So when bugging out, you got to make the decision. Is it worth the risk? Steve at Corsair Trainers down there in LA, for most of the fires, he didn't bug out. But the one fire came up on his new place, and the whole area was told to, all right, guys, evacuate time. So he loaded it. He had stuff all prepped. Everybody knows how good Steve is there. Got everything loaded up and headed from LA, came up here to Napa, where his son's at, and spent the week up there till he got the all clear to go back home, went back home. None of the houses were touched. They were able to stop it before it got to his neighborhood. So in certain events, may not get the warning from the police or fire department saying, hey, you need to get out or it's safe to stay. That's, that's something you may have to make the decision. And that's where having, multiple sources of information comes in handy. Ham radio, the NOAA weather radios, because they'll put other information out on those as well, and they hit it to certain areas, to let them know what's going on in their area. Your internet, news, as long as it's up and running. Some people were talking about when a certain event was going on, they got better, up-to-date, instant information over Twitter and X, Instagram, even Facebook groups and stuff of what was going on in certain areas that the mainstream media either was hiding or they weren't getting the information right to put out to people. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't tell anybody because they couldn't make everybody panic.
Yeah. Stay in place. And that's things you don't know where it's going to be worse to stay there than it is to get out, because you may not have that information. So you're going to have to do observations around you and figure out, okay, do I need to get out of here? Yes or no. So, Hurricanes. Oh, I can survive hurricanes, board up the house. And you may have done it numerous times and continue to do it. But all of a sudden you get the, is it category 5, the biggest hurricane?
Yeah, so far.
So far, yeah. Wait a minute, everybody, this is a category 6 hurricane coming in. You need to get out. And it's too late.
It's a 5+. Oh, wait, too bad. It's already here.
Yeah.
Hang on, Dorothy. The house is going for a ride.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is you got to make that, decision. Is it too dangerous to stay here? Is it worth the risk? Leave, or is it safer to stay? Yeah. And what is Geeky Guard says? Yeah. And Caitlin's right. Things can change in a split second.
Yeah, or less.
Yeah. My wife and my one son in California doesn't drive. But my wife and my other son, they can drive out. My wife now has a 4-wheel drive. I haven't brought the Jeep up there that we bought, so the Jeep's still there. So my youngest would probably abandon his Corolla and take the Jeep, and the so the youngest would do that, and the oldest would ride with one of them. And the youngest Matthew has, I think last time I checked, he's got like 6 5-gallon cans of gas in the shed, and he goes through it and cycles it through the cars and refills it up to keep it fresh. So, if they had the bug out, it's going to be like, okay, you best be bugging out before everybody else does, because they're down in the San Francisco Bay Area. To get out of the state, they got 3 routes heading this way. There's a 4th route, but it's a long way around. Interstate 80, up towards Reno and across the Nevada desert. Up to Sacramento on 80 and take 50 over the Sierras into Carson City and across the desert.
And one logistics problem with everybody leaving at the same time is the gas stations along the way, they're going to be out of fuel in about an hour and done. And then people are just going to run out of gas everywhere because they're like, I'll get gas in the Sierras or at this gas station. They get there, it's like, nope, sorry, we're out of gas.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, too, have you ever been in a California traffic jam just going to work in the morning or coming home?
4 hours to go 2 miles. Yeah.
Yeah. And you get up there and you're trying to get out. And even under normal circumstances, if I'm heading from here to there and I hit Sacramento after 1:30, by the time I get to the other side of Sacramento, it's dead stopped.
Yep.
If I get there at 1 o'clock and hit Sacramento at 1 o'clock, I can usually get out of Sacramento, hit the causeway crossing the Sacramento River before traffic starts to really slow down. And so, and then from there, getting down to the milk farm outlets, it gets bad there. Into Fairfield, all the every one of those places just jams up, and that's just normal commute time, and it's not even the bad commute time. 2 hours later, and you're bending over your car being, yeah, it's just bad.
Bend it over your car.
In some cases, yes.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, but the problem is you're on a bike.
You ain't carrying much.
You're not carrying much. You got a bike with the little shoulders acting up today.
Little saddlebags on them and whatever.
Well, no, the little trailer behind it that usually has a kid in it. If you don't have the kid in it, and you got stuff in there,
that's heavy.
That's heavy. You got to pedal it.
Just as Blake over at Urban UK Prepper, he tried it, and that thing, that trailer he had on there, he's wishing he left it at home.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, unless you're out biking often, you don't have the stamina or the actual muscle mass developed to, a little ride around town for 30 minutes is one thing. Once you hit an hour and a half, your legs are burning.
Yep. And your e-bike might get you 20 miles. That's it.
Yeah.
You're done. Now you're pedaling a 100-pound bicycle.
Yeah.
Because of the batteries and the fat tires on them. Yeah.
So, and here's the other thing too. You're pedaling along and someone bigger than you says, I need that more than you do.
Yeah.
And they go and knock you over, punch you out, and they take your bike, and then they look and they say, I just need to get home. I'm going to take off. They got plans. They probably have food in here. I'm just going to take it and go. There's always going to be somebody bigger.
Yeah, water, fire, wind, something's going to force you out.
Yeah. And, and thing is, when the cars start going off on the shoulder of the road, or the cars are all blocked up in a quote, residential area, you're going through the main thoroughfare, and you're trying to ride a bike through there.
No.
It's going to be hard too. Now, if you're away from the city and you're not in urban or suburban areas, you're out more rural, you got a lot better chance on getting somewhere. But if you're out in the rural, depending how rural you are getting out there, you're needing to bug out. Tips that, because now you're not in the city, you're not having all this, I need to get away from these guys. You're out there by yourself. It's like, neighbors and stuff, we're getting together, we're going to protect the area. And now you got a group out there that's, coming together because they know the crap storm from the city's heading their way, and they're going to stop it. And that's the other thing. Are you going to run in, get into an area where, going through, all right, say for me, going for my wife coming from California, going through Fernley or Winnemucca, and all the off ramps have trucks blocking it and guys standing there with guns. You ain't getting off here.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if you're out of gas. Keep going.
Exactly. Oh, yes. Yeah. Elevation changes too, especially on a bike.
Oh yeah, it doesn't take much. Look, a little downhill. Look, 9 miles of 1% grade.
Yeah.
You're gonna be walking after the first half a mile. Yeah. Pushing that thing.
But then pushing a bike that has more stuff on it might be easier than carrying it in a backpack.
True.
Yeah, so these are all the things you need to evaluate about your area and where you're going to. And that takes it back to something I've talked about every time. If you even have it in the back of your mind, you might bug out. Where are you going to go? Do you have a plan written down where you're going to go?
I'm going to go to the woods and live off the land. Yeah, that's the whole prepper bug out mindset of what they put on TV.
Yeah.
Until you realize where you're going to go. That little roundabout in the middle of the highway there where there's like 10 trees. Okay, there's your woods.
Yeah. You just made me think of something. Which movie was it? It wasn't Armageddon. It was Deep Impact. And they're fleeing away, and traffic gets bad and everything, and a piece of the asteroid, comet, whatever, hits the water, and the water's rushing up, and you see everyone scrambling up the hill, and it's just, they had hundreds of extras out there scrambling up the hillside and stuff, and the two main kids are up there trying to get up there too. And it's just, and when they get there, they finally get to a point where they collapse, and the water doesn't quite make it to them, and there's still all these people around them with no supplies.
Mm-hmm. Great, we're alive. Okay, that's a start.
Yeah.
I mean, you do what you got to do in the pinch moment of save your life. Yeah.
Oh, in that book I returned, there was one thing. Even though the wife had a good pair of Klein hiking boots, the husband just had tennis shoes. And by the end of the first 2 hours, he had blisters on his feet because of the pace she was setting. Yeah, I had some friends that they're about 10 years older than me, and they biked. They did a lot of biking. They trained and stuff, and their postings on it's like, crap, I should have trained harder the last month.
Yeah.
And they had vehicles going with them, with with all the food and stuff.
Yeah, support vehicles. Yeah.
Support vehicles, tents and everything else. They had medics and stuff going with them. And there were like 40, 50 people biking. So they had about 20, 30 cars, going at least. And yeah, they were, even with that, biking a distance, 350 miles. Oh, and these guys were biking from San Francisco down to LA. They had two major hills, one near the beginning and one near the end. Those were the killers.
That's where you got to get enough speed coming down the first one to make it halfway up the second one, even though it's 200 miles away.
Yeah, actually, it's more like 300 miles away. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and again, weather comes into this. Is it hot? Is it cold? Does the weather change on you? Does it go from nice, pleasant weather to, freezing nights? Or does it go from nice, pleasant weather to Death Valley days? Yeah, they've done more. I know they've done down from LA. I mean, from San Francisco down to LA several times. They've gone to other states to do it. They went to Hawaii and rode around Hawaii with a group over there, which is not as easy and as pleasant as you think it is.
No.
And they somewhere in Colorado, they went to Colorado to ride. Oh.
Yeah, let's do Pikes Peak. Uh-huh.
Well, it wasn't that. It was just the altitude.
Oh yeah, that'll ruin you.
Yeah, they tried the extra riding. They rode Mount Diablo, which is one of the highest peaks in Northern California. It has trails and stuff all around it. But yeah, when they got up there, just the altitude change was a killer. And even if you're walking and hiking, the altitude change is going to be a killer. and not just, the bottlenecks are going to become parking lots.
Yep. Nobody's going to let anybody in because I'm in a bigger hurry than you. So I'm not letting you in. So that bottlenecks, and somebody jams in, does a bump and grind, and now they're standing there, what, swapping insurance information? Okay, waiting for a police report? Good luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So everyone, hopefully I opened your eyes to some things to look into. And if you figured out where you're going to, don't just have one location. Have several locations in mind and plan accordingly. I need to head northwest because this is my general area is going to be safe. But what if there's a big wildfire up in that area up there and something you can't go there? You got to go in a different direction. That's why you need to have plan A, plan B, plan C, and to be ready to take the what was it from the TV show The Flash, Captain Cold. Make the plan, something of the plan. Plan falls apart. Throw away the plan. Start over. Yeah.
Have four plans and plan for all four of them to fail.
Yeah. So, all right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here because I need to get across the street here. My daughter has the youth coming over from the church group to help work on the fence, and she wants me over to help direct them on to how to properly do it. It's going to be the first time for some building fences. So,
did you get that shower fixed? Did you get the shower fixed yesterday?
The shower got fixed this morning. I thought I had a supply. I looked out there. Oh, I got 3/4 inch and 1/2 inch PVC. No problem to fix it. Go over to it when we actually were going to do it. Wait a minute, that's 1 inch, 1 inch and 3/4 inch, no 1/2 inch.
Why would they use 1 inch for a shower?
No. I'm saying I had here in my shop the supplies I had in my shop. I thought I looked out there. Oh, I got pipe. I got the two sizes, 3/4 and 1/2 inch. No, I had 1 inch and the other because I ran 1 inch under the house for the main of the PEX and stuff. So yeah. So, but yeah, they got it fixed up. It's working, no leaking, and yeah.
You're gonna put like a metal cage around it so it doesn't accidentally get torn out of the wall again.
No, she raised it up 8 inches and put it, and redid the hole, put it up, sealed off the other hole, and raised it up 8 inches higher. So yeah. So it's going to be a couple more years before he gets tall enough to reach up there to grab it. All righty. So coming up here, Thursday is the midnight ride. Oh, I got some interesting news articles already. And Caitlin sent me a couple already. So guys, if you have some really interesting politically charged, either good or bad, news articles for your area, go ahead and email it to Camp Patton Family Compound at gmail.com. So, Friday night, homestead update. Going to be giving an update on what I'm doing on the properties there, which reminds me, I gotta take my phone over to take videos of the work going on over there. Put it in my pocket so I have it. Survival Saturday. After your loved ones are gone, what are your plans? And this is going to be a little bit of psychology too on Saturday. Monday on Camp Patton is wet or dry pack canning. Next Thursday here, the topic is back to basic prepping. Get rid of the fancy dancy stuff that you're not using and you don't know how to use. Get back to basics.
Next Thursday? I thought that was Midnight Ride is Thursday.
No, next Tuesday. Tactical Tuesday. Next week here on Tactical Tuesday. So that's what's coming up here. All right, everyone. Stay happy, stay safe, add to your preps, and we'll see you Thursday night for the Midnight Ride. Take care.
Night. See ya.